Good afternoon, folks. I just finished up the Exclusion project. Basically, I ran 2,900 feet of three-strand electric fence from that far end of the hayfield and ran it along that tree line right there, so that we exclude the cattle from that grassy area around those big walnut trees. And then there's a grassy area down here that we also bale, and that runs on down to this upper end of the hayfield. And then that fence wraps around, makes a 90-degree turn down there, and comes all the way up to the county road. Now I put a green gate, 16-foot gate in there so that I have access to take the tractor and brush hog and maintain the other side of that exclusion fence in that corner up there. Seven-eighths pipe and a cap on top of it, so it kind of cleans it up, makes it look good. And I'm going to insert some detail photos that I used to secure the wire, and I used some little white insulators, plastic insulators with a clip on it. So I'll show those to you as well. So this is an aerial view or map of the area that we're putting this exclusion fence in. And this is an example of the isolator that's screwed onto the plastic post. And then this is the access gate that we installed so that we can maintain the other side of the hayfield. So this is one of my line posts. As you can see, it's PVC, 3-inch PVC. That's cell core. That's a little cheaper than the Schedule 40 pressure pipe. And I put a 3-inch cap on top of it, and those are Gallagher screw-on post hangers. It's got the little locking pin on it to keep the wire in place. I went that way because I'm trying to keep the chances of any kind of shorts with wire touching steel and grounding my fence out. So that's what I used, and I think it'll work good. It should be there for a long time. So this is where I kind of cleaned up the edge of the woods. Most of the trees you're going to see laying down are locust trees, the ones with the thorns. There are a few smaller American elms that were in there. I tried to get all the trees that were leaning over the most out of there, and then get rid of all those locusts because of the proliferation that you incur with those. Well, I'm installing the timeless posts now. Drive those in with just a typical T-post driver. I'm kind of following this string. The wind's a little bit windy today, so I've tied it off to a couple of posts, but I think I've got it pretty well in a pretty straight line through there. I started all the way back over in that corner over there, and I'll go over there and take a picture of that in just a little bit. And yes, a timeless post will break while trying to drive it in rocky soil. So a little bit about the timeless fences, or fence posts. I've roughly 75 posts and 2,900 feet. And then anywhere where I've made a bend, I've got a 2 7/8 inch 8-foot steel post, drove 44 inches in the ground. And then to protect the high voltage wire, which is a high tensile wire, I put a 3-inch pipe around that 2 7/8 pipe and a cap on top of it, so it kind of cleans it up, makes it look good. And I'm going to insert some detail photos that I used to secure the wire, and I used some little white insulators, plastic insulators with a clip on it. So I'll show those to you as well. So the exclusion fence, this electric fence that I've installed, is now completed. I use these timeless posts over here. They run me 8 1/4 a piece. Those are 5.5 foot posts. I got the top wire at 34, well 35 I think it works out to. I've got these PVC sleeves against any metal posts that I got. Strainer's tied off to the post. This is our access gate to this exclusion area. Basically, this is to keep the livestock out from having free rein to the creek and the woods on the other side of it. Help the wildlife out a little bit. Our plan is that we will mow and bale that large opening over there this summer. We did so last year. It's got a little weeds in there, but that's okay. Them goats like it. And over here is the charging station. I've got that mounted on a timeless post. And it's a Gallagher S100 model. Right there is the ground system. I've got 3 ground rods, a little over 10 feet apart. And there's another one up here. See it down there. I've got these step-in posts in some areas simply because there's some high spots in the ground, so it's just to hold those lower wires off the ground a little bit better. I think I mentioned the wire height. This top wire is 34, and the next one is 22 inches off the ground, and the bottom one's 12 inches. I've had to pull the bottom wire off of the charger because apparently we've got a vegetation load on that thing, because with it hooked up, My voltage on the wires is 2500 volts. And with that wire disconnected, I'm at 7,800 volts. So we're going to run the system without that lower wire until we run cattle in here. But the project is essentially finished. And I hope you enjoyed this video.